So after watching the video, you at least got some idea about hydrocarbons, correct? So now let's do this way. I'll give you 4 or 5 molecules. I want to check your understanding. You try to name that molecule, and then I'll explain to you if you are not able to. Okay? Let's start with 3 molecules at least. Yes. Can you name these 3 molecules? These are very simple molecules. First one is butane. Yes. So why it's called butane? Very good. So this is what this point means. It means carbon. Correct? So how many carbons are there? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 carbon. Correct? So each carbon means but. 4 means but. So where do you find this information? 4 means but. Is in chapter number 4. Please go to that page table. I'll show you. Page 115, table 4.5. Page 115, table 4.5. Can you see that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 means but. Since it has all carbon-carbon single bond, it's ane because it's an alkane. Agree? What is meant by alkane? It will have all carbon-carbon single bonds. Why but? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is but. A because carbon-carbon single bond. So the name is butane. So now, if I ask you what's the formula for this, so can you tell me how many carbons are there? 4. How many hydrogens? See, carbon is always attached to hydrogens in alkane. So this is one bond. So remaining how many hydrogens here? 3. What total it has to form how many bonds? 4. Correct? So 3 hydrogen here. How many hydrogen here? 2. Well, 2 bonds. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 again 2. 7. How many? 3. 7 plus 3 is 10. Correct? So how many hydrogens? 10 hydrogens. This is called molecular formula. Molecular formula. Okay. So this is butane. This is the molecular formula. And same thing, you could write it out instead of drawing this. You could write it out like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and you could show all the hydrogens. 3. You could write in the front or in the back. That's fine. 3.
And that would be like the condensed structural form, is that right?
This is the condensed structural form. Condensed structure. So you should be familiar with this is called skeletal structure. So for this, it's a skeletal structure. Skeletal structure. So you should know how to write skeletal structure. What is meant by molecular formula? Molecular formula means how many carbon and hydrogens are there in the structure. and how to draw it in condenser. So you should be familiar with these three forms. Okay. So can you do this way? Next one, next two molecules. Do skeletal structure, molecular formula, and condensed structure. Write the name also. Huh? Name. How many carbons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is hex. Ane. Why ane? Because all single bond. C6H14. 6 carbon. 3, 4, 5, 6. You could write 3 carbon. 1, 2, 3. Propane. Correct? Any question on this? So you could draw any carbon, 1 carbon, 2 carbon, 3 carbon, 4 carbon, like up to, what you need to know is up to 10. Can you see that? So in that structure you could see up to 10 you could be able to draw for alkane. Now similarly let's try the next set of molecules, which is, I'll draw the same thing. Now, let's count the carbon first thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 means what? 10. But now you see, and there is one carbon-carbon double bond. Can you see that one carbon-carbon double bond? If there is one carbon-carbon double bond, you will make it ene. That is because it's an alkene. Correct? But also you have to see what the position of the double bond is. Its position is at the first carbon. Correct? So you could write 1 pentene or you could just write pentene. First carbon you don't have to write it, but you are also fine with writing. So it's 1-pentene.
How does that change the amount of hydrogen?
No, yes, total hydrogen will be different.
Okay.
I'll show you. 5 carbon, we know that. Hydrogen will be, let's see, first one has how many hydrogens?
Well, before it had 3.
So now there are 2 bonds, so it will have 2.
Okay.
2 here, correct? 1 here, because there are 3 bonds. So 1 here,
There's usually 3, so now there's only 2. There's usually 2, so now there's only
1. So 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 2, 2, 9, 9 plus 3, 12. So how many? No, sorry. It should be 10 hydrogen.
Is it?
3, 4, 5. See, if when you draw this, you will get a better idea. Double bond. How many hydrogens here? 2. Correct? Why 2? Because there are 4 bonds. 1 here, 2 here, 2 here, 3 here. Correct? Can you draw the do other things for second one? Same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But double bond is at second carbon, so it's 2-pentene. Correct? Why 2-pentene? Because double bond is at second carbon. Its formula remains the same. Your double bond will shift to the second carbon. Three here, 1 here, 1 here, 2 here, 3 here. Correct? Why 1, 1? Because carbon has 4 bonds. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bonds to the hydrogen. Any question? Confused? Can you do the last one? See if I can. Now remember one more thing before you write the name. Your numbering should be close to the double bond. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what's the name? 2-hexene. Correct? Numbering should be always close to the double bond. C6H12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, 3.
Do you have to write it the long way like that, or does it, like if I wrote it actually in the 2 position going from left to right, is it the same thing?
Same thing. Yes.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay. I just didn't know if you had to keep the bond on that
No,
far
not
side.
necessary.
Write it left
Not
or right.
necessary. You could write it. Can I proceed? Next set of examples. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbon, correct? 4 carbon is bute, correct? Agreed? 4 carbon is bute. Triple bond. Now previously it was double bond, so E. Triple bond means YNE. What's the position of the triple bond? 2. 2 butyne. Correct. So in this case, the reason is it's difficult to write the skeletal structure, so that's the reason I wrote the convention. So sometimes it's difficult to write the skeletal structure because it's a small molecule. Now let's write for the next one. Let's number it. See, this is numbering is little tricky here. End is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Why is it flat? Why is it not?
Because triple bond is a linear structure, so that's the reason it's a flat.
So are you wanting us to know that? Is that what you want?
Yes. 6 means hex. Six means hex, correct? Triple bond means Y and E. What's the position? 2. 7 means hept. Y and E. Position is 1. Can you write the molecular formula also for all of them? Write the molecular formula. C4 6. Next one. See, I'll give you one simple trick to know molecular formula. Okay. If I write this molecular formula, I know which one it is, correct? Because just by knowing the molecular formula, because carbon is 4, hydrogen is double, correct? If carbon is N, hydrogen will be double, correct? 2N, twice that number. So that is alkene. Is it clear? If it is carbon, you could check whatever alkene you had, just check if you had whatever carbon you had, hydrogen is double, correct? So sometimes you don't have to count also because you know it's an alkene. So once you know the carbon, you could just get the right number of hydrogen. So if it is an alkane, it will be 10. What it means? Well, carbon is N, hydrogen will be double plus 2. correct? And alkyne will be
We don't both say alkene.
oh sorry no, this says alkane.
Okay, and
This one is double minus 2.
Double minus 2.
Sign is double minus 2. And verify this. Previous whatever you did, just check. Does it match with your so if you just remember this general formula, it will be easy, like if you just write the molecular formula. Correct? Alkane. So let me check your understanding of what I will do. I'll mix it up. I'll give you 3 examples. I would like you to do the same thing. Correct? Yeah, sorry. These 3 molecules, I would like you to write the name and determine the molecular formula. That's perfect. Okay. Start. Who wants to answer this first one?
well, I think that it's 3-heptene.
Correct. You are right. 3-heptene and molecular formula is
C7H14.
correct. Next, Emily.
I said it was decade
Decane.
and C10H22.
Correct.
For this one, I'm not sure if I'm right. If I put 1 ethyne.
If it is ethyne, there is no other possibility. So just you could write ethyne.
Okay. And then I just put C2H2.
Correct. It's,
But why would it be, never mind. Just answered my own question.
so at least you got these three hydrocarbons, correct? Alkane, family of alkanes, family of alkynes, family of alkenes. So important thing, recognizing the structure, writing the name, determining the molecular formula. These three are the important aspects in this first part. Okay. Now let's do the next family, which is cycloalkanes and aromatics. Alkanes and aromatic. Cycloalkanes are different, aromatics are different. See, cycloalkanes means this, this, this. Aromatics means like this, or you will see like. So in aromatic, what do you see is benzene ring. In aromatics, you will see benzene ring. Okay. Now, let's for the cycloalkanes, let's count the carbon. We could start from any point because there is no point we have preference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Correct? 6 carbon maximum. 6 means hex. Hex means 6 carbon and all single bond. There is all carbons are single bond. So ane. And it's a ring. Since it's a ring, we put cyclo. So what's the name? Cyclohexane. Why you are putting cyclo? Because it's a ring. Hex because it's 6 carbon. Ane because all single bond. Can you try the next one? Cyclo because ring. Pent because it's 5 carbon. Ane because all are single bond. Correct?
Okay, so you're saying because it's a ring, because it's all like attached.
Yes.
Because I think a ring and I just think circle. So when I like see like a triangle, I'm like, that's not a ring.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
So instead of saying, I'll use a better word. Cyclic.
Okay, like it's continuous.
Continuous.
Yeah, okay. That makes more sense to me.
So let's use a cyclic word. So this is cyclo pentane. Sorry, propane. Why prop? 3 carbon. Ane because all single bond. So if you see these structures, then you know that it's a cycloalkanes. Okay. And if you see this one, which is different, like although it's a ring, it's like a cyclic, but it has 3 double bonds, alternate. 1 double bond here, single bond, double bond, single bond. So double bond, single bond, double bond. So if you see this, or like ring. What I need to say, I'll show you again so that it will become clear to you. See, if you have like this double bond, single bond, double bond. If you have this, then it is benzene ring and it's called aromatic. So aromatics are different than cycloalkanes.
if the bonds were like in different places, would that change the name or would it still be the same thing?
Generally, you will with aromatics you'll get double bonds like here, here, or here. It's the same thing.
Like every other?
Every other.
Okay.
Every other. But it is still called benzene ring.
Okay.
And it belongs to which family? Aromatics. This molecule belongs to which family? Cycloalkanes. Okay.
Are they both called the benzene ring?
Yes.
Both of them?
Benzene can be very good question. Benzene can be represented like this or this.
But it's the same thing.
Same thing.
So so the circle in the middle?
Represent the double bond could be on this side or this side.
Okay. Okay.
Now, can you find out the molecular formula? Let's see for each one of them. Let's see who will get the molecular formula right. Okay. First one, C6H12.
Oh, okay, I was right. So they're just going to be pretty much two,
Correct.
since it's all connected,
Yes.
it's just going to be double.
Correct. Benzene is, let's see who got it right.
That's what I got.
See, because each carbon has 3 bonds. 1, 2, and 3. Each carbon needs how many hydrogen? 1. So the total it has to compound 4, correct? 1, 2, 3, 4 times your hydrogen. So there are 6 hydrogens. Good.
So if it was like, are you able to have a benzene ring that's an aromatic that's like C3H3 then?
No. Then generally
Only
it's
6. Okay.
There are some others, but which is not, you are not required to study that.
Okay.
But mostly what you will be studying is this.
Okay.
But there are like something which is C2, C5, C12. There are a lot of, but there are more criteria to know exactly why it's a benzene.
Okay.
Why it is aromatic, why it belongs to that family.
How would you name the aromatics? Like,
If you see a benzene ring, you just write benzene ring, aromatic.
that's it?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if you had to do like the whole number thing.
But now we are that you will do numbering thing in the next set, which is
Oh, okay.
advanced.
Okay.
But so far so good.
Yeah.
Now let's do that numbering thing which you said. So if it is just a benzene ring, we don't number it, we just write benzene. But if it is, we have like this, CS3, and if we have like this. So now we have to number them. Correct? Because there is a branch which is coming out of the benzene ring. Correct? So see that same thing, page 115. If there is CS3 group is there, what it is called as a branch. It's not part of the main ring. If it is if it is CSC, what it is called? Page 115.
So the methyl.
Correct. Correct. Methyl benzene. Why methyl benzene? Because methyl is attached to the benzene. The next one,
For the dimethyl.
correct. There are two methyl attached. Dimethyl benzene. But now, since when there are two, you have to specify which position. Always you start with one branch as one, first branch, any branch. 2, 3, 4. You could go clockwise or counterclockwise, it doesn't matter. It should be the shortest one. 1, 2, 3, 4, this way also 1, 2, 3, 4. So what is the name? 1, 4. And remember, whenever you write the numbers, you put comma, 1, 4, hyphen between number and letter. 1, 4 dimethyl benzene.
Now, do you always separate the numbers and the letters with a hyphen?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Always. Yes. Now, can you write the name for this?
It doesn't matter where you start.
Correct. Any branch, you could start with any one branch. One, 2 dimethyl benzene. Is this clear? Now let's do some more. Sorry, should I go back?
Just laughing at myself. Because I just went clockwise, so I put 1, 6 instead of 1.
I'm just going like these.
The shortest one.
Yes. I like to make things harder than they are, I guess.
Let's do this. Now, is it a benzene ring? Now, first one, is it a benzene ring?
No, where's the circle?
No, circle. So that's the remember, right? It's not circle. It's a cyclo. So, what's the name it is? How many are carbon? Cyclo.
So just the methyl.
Correct. Cyclohexane and methyl. Methyl cyclohexane. Correct. So
I
what
think
is?
this is the easiest thing we've done.
No, if you are that's what they say in chemistry. First exam what you are studying uses your logical part of the brain, math part. This part uses your creative. If you are a little bit creative, you like this part.
Yeah, I do like this part.
I just don't like math. So.
Yeah, I think that's why I like this part.
No, but this is what we are doing at chemistry. This is also creativity to go to a very high level, but it's this part you like it.
Yeah. My picture's on the greatness.
So second one is there are two carbons. See two carbon. What the branch if it is there? It says ethyl. Correct? Can you see that ethyl? Eth means two carbon. So di. There are two ethyl.
Wait. What? So if there's two little branches off of it, there's two, so that means the ETH.
Yeah.
And then there's two different branches, so it's di.
But what about how there's like another bond going on there?
Yeah, that's what you're counting as.
Yes. See, it could be written like this also.
Oh, because the die is going on.
Yes, exactly.
There's two of them on the center.
So diethyl cyclohexane, and the numbering is 1, 3. Why ethyl? Is it clear? Because there are 2 carbons. And remember, branch means always it will have a YL. Like 1 carbon will meth, YL, F, R.
Because it's a substitution.
Correct. So this completes your one chunk of chapter 4 actually. So is it clear? So hydrocarbon, see in this what we did is we discussed only one thing, carbon and hydrogen. Carbon and carbon. So if I ask you carbon forms how many bonds, what will be your answer? 4. Correct. Hydrogen forms how many bonds? 1. So can you tell me if I have carbon-carbon double bond, what do you call? Alkene. Correct. If you have a carbon-carbon triple bond, what do you call? Alkyne. If you have carbon-carbon single bond, alkane. If you have a benzene ring, what that family is called? Aromatic. Exactly. So now, so hydrocarbons are of 2 types. This will so one is saturated hydrocarbon, other one is unsaturated. So example of saturated means all single bond, that is alkane. Unsaturated means alkene and alkyne. So in that quiz, they may in the test there will be a question: which of the following is not an saturated hydrocarbon? Do you know what is meant by saturated hydrocarbon? It's saturated, all single bond. So instead of giving any alkane, alkyne, we will give you the name: pentane, pentene, ethyne. So from the name, you could able to identify which family it is. Is it clear? So suppose if I ask you, I'll give you some set of examples. Can you tell me, is it saturated or unsaturated hydrocarbon?
Unsaturated.
Correct, it's unsaturated hydrocarbon. Hydrocarbon is carbon and hydrogen. What about propine?
Unsaturated.
Same, correct? Unsaturated. What about ethane?
Saturated.
Saturated. Actually, we covered lot of ground, so quickly that's very good. So, do you have any questions on this? Now let's do the next set of examples. Next section, where we are talking about not one functional group, many, like we just so far we discussed only carbon and hydrogen, but now we discuss other families. Let me go to Angel first for that. Or let's go here. Now, if I ask you, this is a big molecule, correct? This is a very big molecule. If I ask you, do you see aromatic in this? So what happens in a big molecule? There are many families are present. Is it? You will have aromatic, you will have cycloalkane, 6-carbon. So there are so many things are present. So what is your whole next job is to identify all the families. So there are around 10 or 12 families of the type. So which you need to do. So before that, before we discuss this structure, I would like you to read this. It's an interesting, so that at least you know like exactly why we are studying this. So most of the drugs, see whatever you are studying now is because you have taken medicine, correct? Almost 99% of the medicine which we take will have these kind of, not exactly this, but these kind of structures. And because of the different structures, they have different physiological properties. Some can use as anti-cancer, some can use as antibacterial, some can use as to treat cancer, anything, like you name it, any medicine, they all have one thing common, they all are organic molecules. Organic means they have a carbon-based structure. So what you are doing, you are decoding, oh, this is a big organic molecule, what are the different parts of that molecule? Is it clear what is the aim of this section? Decoding the big drug into small parts. So there are how many parts here? 1 part, 2 part, 3, A, B, C, D. Correct? 4 parts. So there are 4 parts here. So 1 part you already know. A you already know. If you see A, this one A, what will answer? What will be your answer? Aromatic. Because it's a benzene ring, and benzene ring belongs to family aromatic. So you are identifying the family. So what you will say is A is aromatic. I'll give you a printout of the worksheet, but I just want you to get the feel because it's like too much work for you to draw the structure. I'll get the printout. But so is it clear? A is aromatic.
Yes.
Now, if you see this is which element? This is carbon, correct? This is also carbon. Everything. Now you know that, correct? What is this element? Correct. Carbon, oxygen, carbon. Now go to appendix in your book. Last appendix A. Appendix A. So if you see carbon, oxygen, carbon, where you see?
What page is on?
Yeah.
Appendix A. There's no page number actually. It says appendix.
Appendix A.
This is appendix B.
So what page of the
A2.
YouTube?
If you go to A2, can you see carbon, oxygen, carbon? Correct. So then, if you see carbon, oxygen, carbon kind of family, correct, in the structure, so then you will name that structure as ether. Okay. This is the most difficult part in this section. The whole organic, this is the difficult part. Once you streamline this, then you are almost set. This is nitrogen, correct? Nitrogen is attached to carbon. Can you see which one has just nitrogen attached to carbon? Carbon and nitrogen. Remember, hydrogen, ignore it because hydrogen is just 50 base. Carbon and nitrogen, what one?
3 carbons.
Amine, correct? On the top, amine. Can you see carbon attached to nitrogen? This amine. Everybody able to see amine?
I have a question though.
Yes.
So before there was 2 carbons and 1 oxygen, does that mean that there's 3 carbons around that nitrogen, or what does that mean?
In this carbon here, carbon here, carbon here. So
Okay.
now question comes: nitrogen forms how many bonds? Now 5 has 5 electrons, so how many it needs? 3, correct? So it forms 3 bonds.
Okay.
Like remember this way: carbon forms 4 bonds, nitrogen forms 3, oxygen forms 2, halogen forms 1.
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1 bonds.
Mhm.
So that correct. These are the 3 different carbons. This is 1 carbon, second carbon, 3 carbon. But since nitrogen is attached to this carbon, it's called amine.
Okay.
Now, what about D? D is OH, carbon attached to OH. See which one has what's the name. It's very popular over the weekend, this functional group. I know. Carbon attached to OH, not benzene ring. Just carbon attached to the OH. Benzene if it is there, it's phenol. Alcohol. Correct? So it's a
Alcohol. That's my favorite part.
Oh. I was like, I know, it's not.
I think I want that one.
Is this clear? Makes sense?
Are we gonna be allowed to use the appendix on a quiz?
No,
Okay.
but you'll let us know which ones we need to have memorized, right?
That's
Okay, because we don't have to have them all memorized, do we?
Right.
Appendix A1 you need to know memorize.
All of them?
A1 is you already know most of them. A1, A2 and A3 first one.
Oh, okay, so 32 pages and the first one up on the third page.
Correct. And out of that first one, first page you already know half of it. If you see alkane, alkene, alkyne, aromatics. Remember, this is the bulk. This is like 25% of your 30% of your exam. Just doing this. Okay. Now what I will do, I will give you the like this remaining worksheet. I'll post it. You could do it at home. But before that, I would like you to go to Angel. I'll show you, and then you could exercise practice now actually, so that at least you get an idea.
You want us to go to Angel? Is that what you said?
Yes.
I don't have my laptop yet.
No. No laptop.
Is it, yeah, can I just like?
Yes. Now go to lessons. So go to lessons and exam 2 homework, organic chemistry homework. Can you see that exam 2 organic chemistry homework here? Click on that. Can you see the exam 2 organic chemistry resources?
Yeah.
See lessons, organic chemistry homework, organic chemistry homework one more time, and resources. If you go to resources, can you see the study guide? Click on the study guide.
Hold on.
And then can you see the functional group review 1? Click on that. It will it's a PowerPoint, then open it. Let's start with a simple thing so that at least it will be easy for you. Now, when you look into this, correct? What family it is? You already know this. There is a carbon-carbon double bond. Which family it is? Correct. It's an alkene. So what you do is go to the slide, see the structure, think what's the name. If you don't know the name, look into the book. Then hit the downward arrow. So you'll see the name. Correct? Then when you hit the second downward arrow, it will go to the next one. Try to find out what's the function. See what's the bond you will be looking for in this carbon double bonded O and H. This thing. Correct? So carbon double bonded O attached to H. See that in the appendix what it is if you are able to make it out and then check the answer. So this way you do this whole PowerPoint and I want ask me questions if you are not able to get it. Okay.
So the answers pop up, right?
Yes, exactly.
Like they don't, but see ours, they don't.
No, it will pop up for if you do slideshow. It will
Oh,
not-
it's just like,
If you do the slideshow, it will not pop up.
okay. Okay, alright, I see now.
So this way it's like a
Um, I'm not.
because that is extra book, correct? So see the subtle differences because there is some small difference between aldehyde and carboxylic acid. So that way in this you need to recognize. See, if I could teach you 100 times, it will not make sense. Your brain should sense the difference in the small minor difference and see if you are getting the right answer or not. If you are not able to understand why that is, ask me.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
See, this is that OH, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Attached to carbon. Carbon attached to OH is what?
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just everything.
It's a secondary alcohol which you don't have to know right now.
Okay.
Just you need for the time being, you just need to know what's the alcohol.
Okay.
So there you will focus it on this carbon.
Right, but I don't know, I don't see anything like that. Oh, that's all I need to know. Okay.
It will take some time. See, it will take some time for your brain to see that, correct? It's a new thing. You never studied this.
Okay, so this one here was,
Alcohol.
yep.
This one is also same thing, correct? Carbon attached to OH. It's not attached to the benzene ring. OH is attached to the carbon.
Okay,
If OH is attached to the benzene ring, then it's a phenol.
okay. That's what I was having.
This is phenol. Why? Because it's attached to the directly attached to the benzene.
Okay.
See it and I'll just back into it.
Yeah. So this hydrogen is driven here. So that gives you the same. Is that that? It's only a few. I got one right now. Yeah, I just got that. Yeah.
So when you are done, or if you have any questions, ask me. Okay. So this is, you have to do this again and again and again so that you could see it.
Okay, so how do you
know what you need to look at in this one?
right?
Correct. So if you see carbon and hydrogen, don't look at it.
Okay.
So you see in this case, what do you see? Do you see here? No. Carbon, hydrogen, carbon, hydrogen, carbon, hydrogen. Do not see. What do you see? Oxygen. COH.
Okay. So that's that.
Yeah.
So if it is only carbon and hydrogen, you know which family it is.
So this is going to be, this one is CC.
CCH. If it is carbon and hydrogen, what which family? Alkane, correct? Cycloalkane has a ring. So,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
you are able to see this?
With some sort of
See.
alcohol.
Yes, it's alcohol, correct. Good, very good. It's carbon and hydrogen, so it's an alkane. So when you see only carbon and hydrogen, and it's a ring, so it's cycloalkane.
Oh.
This we did earlier.
Do I stop here? Or
Yes, I think so. So, are you able to do that all the? So you are able to spot all the. At least you are getting the ideas like how to prepare. Now let's go to the review tool. So you are done.
Well, there was more to the end of this PowerPoint. Did you want us to go past,
Let's go past that. Let's see what.
like the spot of functional groups?
Now spot the functional group. Just go down. So that's the I think answer for the previous one.
So,
Do that spot both. Yes, do that.
do it?
Yes.
Okay.
Do that. Actually, it has after that. I just thought.
That's the, oh, yes, no, okay.
After that, go fast. Now start. So each color coding stands. If you click on this, it will ask you color code. Then click on the first.
What do they mean by both of the functions?
This is one function.
Oh, okay.
This is
Because it
another
is,
function.
so,
So this
C
color
O
code.
C. Okay, so
So now, are you getting how to do this?
yeah.
So now let's say the color coding. If we hit the color coding, see now it will ask you this is which function.
Yep. Yeah, we did this one and this one already.
Yes.
So, and then that's the, and it's just the parent pattern.
This one says that it's this, but that's not even what it was in the chart.
Which one? Aromatic. It's actually it's aromatic.
Okay. So,
So OH, that's the, that's the U, that's the, this one, not the
Aromatic. That is aromatic.
Okay.
Actually, aromatics are also called alkenes. So,
okay.
so if you think it's aromatic, it's
Okay. That makes more sense then, because I didn't see that in here, so.
because they use the abbreviation for.
Okay, so it is, it's just. Okay.
Carbon we studied earlier.
Well, but it's a ring, so it's cyclo. Do I know if, I just need to say cycloalkene, I don't need to say, okay.
alkyl or cycloalkyl. Cycloalkyl is more life.
Okay. Oh, okay. So is that just like mm-hmm. Just so that would that be
No, this one I give. Carboxylic acid will have extra O.
Yeah.
Extra.
And how come this one says that it's ether, but it has an H3 attached to it? It doesn't have
No, actually, that C is attached to C, but actually I shown before.
Okay.
So C, O, C.
Okay.
Hydrogen, just ignore it because it's like it's just to fill the bonds.
Okay. Do you prefer you to then, is that?
Yes, when you are done with that, you do the review too.
Are we supposed to do the group review too?
Yes.
Is it just like matching?
Exactly.
And always do it in that full screen mode so that you.
Do you want to do this? I'm sorry.
1 minute. Huh? Just
this one,
This-
it's like this. Okay, so we know that's scoring, but it's like this to X, yeah. Yes.
You're right.
How do we know the ones that aren't listed in the book, like in this chart?
Which one? Like which one?
Like nitro?
Nitrile, correct?
Yeah.
Just write down in the book, like that's the only thing. That's I think nitrile is one, is thiol is the other. Thiol is these two things that you need to do. Nitrile and thiol.
But they are not very common. Means like the chances of you are getting the question in the exam will be like almost 0%. But in the homework you may find it. So
Okay. So we'll just make it. Let's see those. Okay. First. That's the, okay. Because it's no secret on it too. Yeah, so we do the first one, which is gonna come in there. Well, because it's hydrogen, so that's just another concept. So that's. this one says that it's criminal, but there's no OH attached to it.
No, no, it's phenyl, actually it's aromatic, just phenyl.
Okay, because that's what I had guessed was
Aromatic.
aromatic, so I came up with that.
Actually, they use like, for your class, you don't need to know, but when since I have taken advanced chemistry, so they use different terminology for depending upon the context.
Okay.
So, if it is a part of the branch, then it's called phenyl or alene or aromatic aryl. So you don't have to know all that.
Okay, so good, so I'm glad I had that right then.
But all these are right, but just it's like more terminologies to know when you take advanced level classes. Like we study this whole thing for 1 year, 2 semester course. So
We'll do it for 1 week.
exactly. Any questions on the functional groups?
Just need to keep that considered.
Do you have to do the? I'll actually show you. So you're done with that part, or you have to let them finish it? Actually, I'll show it to you.
Or you want me to go back and study that?
Let's go to the lessons. So now let's see what our calculations. So now, can you see the functional group practice? That actually has two folders that is posted. Files, one of them, if you click on it, you will complete it and then you have this
Oh, the these print them off and bring them back in. Oops. Okay. These office work.
one page.
Oh, they're both one page. Okay.
Okay.
Write that down. Yeah.
Bring
And
that to-
then do you also want us to do the chapter 4 homework that's on here?
No, I'll go back.
Okay.
This is one thing you need to do. Put the worksheets, okay, one page, and then go back. Now go to the exam 2.1. Now click on the first one, identify functional groups.
Okay. I think I accidentally did this. I started it and I was like, I have no idea what this is.
So now here you have to check for which are the functional group present.
Okay,
So it's displayed in one box.
okay,
So 1, 2 is
all of that,
okay.
okay,
So those two worksheets, this one
okay.
you do it,
And
and then I'll post one more thing. I'll tell you.
is that on there yet, or it's,
I'm planning to because I need to reorganize.
okay, that's fine,
So
but it'll be under here,
yes,
okay,
below that file. So
right underneath here.
identify.
It's gonna say the same thing.
I no, I think.
Okay, sorry.
How do you do this last one?
This we need to discuss it actually, right?
Okay.
Because it's like I'll discuss it tomorrow. It's a huge concept. It will take a lot of time.
Great.
Whatever it is.
Great.
But that's the last
Now let's go back. Let's go back to that.
Oh,
See what you do is go to lessons. Go to administration. Now if you click on this, there is a functionality practice. So there are two files, one on page. If you click on this, you will go to the page on that. So one page. How do you have to print it and bring it to the class tomorrow or after writing answers?
Just the functional group of pages.
Just this one, this page and the next page. Correct? And then other thing, this is one page.
I was supposed to complete that.
Yes, this is you have to identify the functional.
okay.
And then you have
Lessons.
so you do this and then click on this. So click on the first one, functional group. This is a homework, click on this. So whichever identify a functional group is there, you just check.
Oh, okay.
So that's the way your exam will be.
Oh, easy, easy.
Okay? So that's the homework and that's the thing. And there is one more thing which I'll post it now. I'm just working reorganizing this one.
Okay, you 2 pages of homework.
Homework. And one more homework I'll post it now. So
So 4 pages of homework.
Okay, so 2 are printouts and then 2 are online.
Let me bring the other printouts tomorrow.
2 printouts you'll bring it tomorrow. And make sure when you like, and bring the, oh, you are not done, I need to. And,
Is there a chapter if you wanted to read ahead, to read for tomorrow?
no, actually if you do this, functional groups, and there is one more thing which I'll post, I think that should be like
Okay.
plenty for you to like, but before that I need to.
So now the last piece which I am doing today for today, and then we'll call it. It may take like maybe 45 minutes. Okay? Do you have the energy?
Yes. All right. Are we in the lecture?
Uh-huh.
Oh, fun.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do.
This
I thought the next part was the part that you said you'd take for tomorrow because it was so long.
that part is so wrong. There is one more part.
Okay. It's like I don't have it.
No more homework though, right? Just something to talk about? Just,
You can't give us more than 4 assignments for one night.
I
Okay.
got a group to write on my day.
Just one.
Okay.
I'll make your job easy. By tomorrow, If you just do this, but you need to make sure you should remember the function group without putting in the appendix.
Okay,
So
well, make
that
that
are
is- that-
flashcards and memorize them.
Yes, because that will make my job really easy for tomorrow. So I'll not teach anymore. But only thing on condition that tomorrow you are not allowed to use the appendix or anything, you should know the.
Okay, okay. You should give us a practice quiz over them tomorrow. We'll get you one.
So you'll have actual quiz.
No, let's just do a practice.
No, it's okay. I'll not give you a quiz tomorrow. I'll give you a quiz on Monday.
Okay.
I'll give Monday so that you'll have extra time. But tomorrow, because this lecture, which the next topic which is doing, I'll tell you so that at least you got an idea what I'm doing.
Okay.
So the reason is why I tell you to remember this. So now if you see this, like preview, well, 1 minute, I'll increase this. Preview. So now, or let me go here, so it will be easier. So now
I'll draw a structure like this, correct? If there is a structure like this, and you need to write the name for this structure, correct? So how do you know? First thing you should know which family it is, correct? It's an alcohol. So since it's an alcohol,
the way you will write the name is how many carbons? 5, correct? 5 carbons. 5 means 10. And alcohols, they have an ending of ANOL. OL.
pentanol. What's the position of the alcohol? 1 carbon. So it's 1 pentanol. So unless you know which family it is, or let's assume I will give you one more,
So that at least you are getting the idea.
Is this what we're doing tomorrow? Okay.
And that will help you to do that part also.
Okay.
So now, if it is this one,
Now, which family it is? This is an ketone, correct? So how do you know that?
see, once you know the ketone, then you number it, closest end. So 5 carbon again, 10. A you just add it always, and pentanone.
Okay, so do you always add an AN after like the
So always
prefix
add
and
an
then
And then
it's
the last 2 or 3.
Last word, ketone ONE, alcohol OL.
Okay, so it's pretty much like the prefix and then AN.
Correct.
It's like the standard.
Prefix AN and then add
The
the
ending of the sentence.
Suffix, correct? So they explain the where it is suffix. You think it will be clear?
But
Like
if
that-
you say suffix, we'll know what you mean.
Yeah.
So and it's in the chart also. Actually, I'll show you. It should be in the chart.
Do you want us?
I'll post it. I'll show you one. Just give me a minute.
In class. This one also. Let me find. I think there is one chart. I don't know why that chart is missing. this is the chart, but I think it has more than what you need. Let me find a simple chart for you, because so actually if you know this chart, correct, this chart, which is, I think this is simple enough: alkane pine, alkene ene, alkyl halide halo, alcohols, ethers, aldehydes, ketones, carboxylic acids, amide and nitrile. So if you know this chart, that should be good. So what I will do, print picture. Why is not having a printer? Save
You
picture.
can just save the picture and then put it to like a Word document
Save picture as.
and then share it with us.
Yes. Save. I used to have one actually, because I don't know where it is. Sure. Now this one. Save picture as.
We could just email it to her.
Desktop. Do you want me to email it to you?
Either one. I was gonna print off those other worksheets anyway, so I can print that out.
So I'll put it in that functional group thing. Let's see. Lessons, okay. Homework, functional group practice, add content, file, browse, desktop. Functional group, naming, load file. Okay. Rearrange. Let's see if it goes first. So now if you click on this, you will find this, okay, on the functional group identification.
So you have, if you know this, because the other chart has a lot of things, you don't have to know all of them, but know only this page. It's like what I mean to say is the how the endings are.
You say that it's functional group naming.
Functional group naming as a first file in that folder.
So if you do this, so then what happens tomorrow when you come back, we could finish like almost like 90% of 85% of organic chemistry.
Okay.
And when we are done with that, then Monday what we could do finish remaining 100%. Tuesday we will do Tuesday and Wednesday we will do chapter 7, which is acid-base chemistry, and then we are ready for exam.
That's not that fast. When is exam due? Thursday?
Monday.
Okay, so.
And
Got it.
huh?
That came up really quick.
Or we could keep the exam to on Thursday actually, that would be good.
No?
We do Monday.
Yeah.
I
didn't say that. Let's just get through the next couple of days and see where we're at.
Right.
We will be like, I think we covered a lot of,
Are
we
we?
covered a good ground today. Actually, I'm glad that you, because see, these topics depends upon how well you grasp it.
Uh-huh.
I think-
Sometimes I used to like, on this topic only I used to spend like four lectures. Not in summer,
Well,
but
usually I have more students, so you can, it was just a couple of us.
And I think the videos really helped me, like, to understand it better.
Me too, actually, the videos
Then,
are
like,
really
The
nice.
videos were
Yeah.
helpful.
Other than just like it was sort of like sitting in lecture, but like sitting there looking at the homework, I understood it way more.
more.
Yeah.
Actually,
I liked that I could like pause and write down what I
Write
had
down
to
what you
rewrite,
needed to
and then
write
go
down.
back and watch it again while I have
And
somewhat
like
understand
pause
what's
it and
going on.
like write down the example
And then
along.
follow along. Yep, that's exactly what I did.
Can you write and like, this is very interesting. Can you write for 2 bonus points? Can you write a reflection, your reflection in a Word file and send it to me about the videos?
I can. maybe in email.
In a word file,
Yeah.
write your reflection about, like, maybe it's not like you write like 250 words or 100 words. 250 words is good. Write your reflection and then send it to me. Okay?
About how the videos help.
Help.
Hydrocarbons.
Yes, because this way what happens, the reason I'm asking you, because I want to see from different perspectives, so it will help me to design more assignment like that. It makes sense?
Yeah.
Or create a,
For 2 bonus points,
Two bonus points,
betcha.
250 words.
it's your writing, it's an open-ended, right? There is nothing, you're not learning something new, you are reproducing what you already know. That's actually 2 bonus points is too much. We should make it 1.
No, we'll stick with 2.
Oh, no.
I like how many bonus points.
For
you
every
get.
125 words you write, you get 1. So 250 words.
But and if you want to write it, like, if you want to summarize it, like, you could write it in bullet point also, like, one bullet point is about this thing. Second bullet point is about this thing, so you could write it in that. So this way what happens, it's easy for me to read through it and then see. Actually, I tried it before, but this time I think I did it before I teach. Generally, what I used to do, I used to use as a resource. But I think if you watch the video and come to the class, things go much faster.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think like watching
I'd almost rather
videos,
do that every time.
right, and knowing ahead of time what we're gonna learn is really nice for me because it like helps me kind of, it gives no surprises, right, and it gives no surprises.
Actually, this is what I will do for my course also later on, like as we go move forward. See, I told you what you'll be learning tomorrow.
Yeah, I like that.
So
I know.
I'll give you the preview.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, at the end of the lecture, I'll give you preview what we will be doing tomorrow, and so that at least you have a heads up if you are to focus.
Okay, now
Okay.
tomorrow, are we still gonna have a longer class?
Depending upon, see, today I was planning to have a longer class
Okay.
till 11, which is like, because these two, recitation and lectures combined actually. It's a combined course, it's not separate course. So, if you are struggling, then we go all the way.
Right.
If you are like till 1 o'clock. If you don't, that's the plan, correct? 12 noon.
Right. Right.
If you cover the material, correct? Like I want to cover like 85% of the material by tomorrow in organic. And if you are done, then
Okay.
I'm not very
But we have both
particular about
labs
time.
too.
Right.
Huh?
We still have both labs. Yeah.
Lab, see, one lab is easy if you do the lab and come.
Okay.
It makes sense. The concentration one.
Yep. Okay.
Finish it at home and bring it. But bring the lab.
Do we have to print
But
in?
are you understanding the recitation aspect? It's not separate course.
Right. Right.
As part of this course, so generally what we do is, when students have like generally it's in a larger section of the class, and people, as you said, we have to go a little slower because we need to accommodate, see like if there are all the students are there.
It's like a review.
So here also we do the review, but we do it together as we go.
Yeah.
Rather than doing at the end, like, oh, do this practice at the end.
Okay. Right. I think, I don't know. I think it makes sense. to get like that. I do too.
But what is your goal for tomorrow?
To know the whole chart.
Yes.
Do the 50,000 worksheets.
Yeah, 2 worksheets,
And your reflection
this
is
chart, and the other 2
Reflection.
homeworks, and the reflection.
All right, we got this.
I wrote it all down.
it's not overwhelming, correct? It's
No, not really. I mean,
It's the only math I have, so I can handle it.
at first I was worried because it was like we were going super fast and like I'm not good at math by any means. So I think this kind of like,
good icebreaker for you.
yes, let my brain kind of settle down and.
Yes, because at the last exam, in this exam also chapter 7 has little bit math, but last exam 0 math.
Okay, good.
So we're just getting further and further away from the math.
Woohoo! That works for me.
Yes. Okay
All
then.
right. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. See you.